Today we're diving into one of the most powerful and relatable finance books of our generation, The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. This book isn't about complex formulas or advanced investing. It's about how your mind, your emotions, and your habits shape your financial life. In Part 1, we're breaking down the most important money mindsets that completely change how you save, spend, invest, and build wealth. Lesson 1. People don't make money decisions logically. They make them emotionally. Everyone grows up with a different experience of money. Some people saw their parents struggle. Others grew up comfortable. Some watched investments crash. Others saw them grow. So when two people look at the same financial situation, they react differently, not because one is smart and the other is not, but because their experiences are different. Key idea. Your behavior with money matters more than your knowledge of money. Lesson 2. Luck and risk matter more than you think. Morgan Housel says something powerful. Not every success is earned, and not every failure is deserved. Bill Gates became successful because he was smart. He worked hard, but also because he went to one of the only high schools in the 1970s that had a computer. His classmate, equally smart, did not get the same luck. Lesson. Don't judge yourself too harshly. Don't judge others too quickly. Money is never 100% skill and never 100% luck. It's always a mix. Lesson 3. Never compare your financial life to someone else's. Comparing yourself to others destroys peace. Someone else might save more, invest more, or have more opportunities. But you don't know their story, their risks, their support system, or their sacrifices. Your financial journey is supposed to be different. Focus on long-term stability, not temporary competition. Lesson 4. Getting wealthy and staying wealthy are two different skills. You can get rich by taking risks, being aggressive, making bold moves. But you stay rich by being careful, being patient, avoiding unnecessary risks. It's not about making money fast. It's about not losing it through bad decisions. Wealth is not what you earn. It's what you keep. Lesson 5. Save money, not just for a goal, but for flexibility. Most people save for a reason: buying a house, a car, or an emergency fund. Morgan says something different. Save just to save. Save for independence. Save for control over your time. Money saved equals freedom. Freedom to quit a toxic job. Freedom to take care of your mental health. Freedom to take a risk. Saving is not about greed. It's about peace. Lesson 6. You don't need extreme income to build wealth. You need good habits. People think wealth comes from huge salaries. But the book explains. Average income plus consistent saving plus long-term investing beats high income plus bad spending habits. Wealth is not visible. Cars, luxury items, big houses, that's spending. True wealth is hidden in your bank account and investments. Lesson 7. Compounding is the eighth wonder of the world. Compounding doesn't reward intelligence, talent, skill. It rewards patience, consistency, time. $100 invested every month can turn into tens of thousands, only because you stayed committed for years. Small steps repeated for long periods create huge results. Lesson 8. The most important financial skill is staying in the game. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to avoid big financial mistakes that knock you out. If you stay in the game long enough, your investments grow, your habits improve, your opportunities compound. Wealth is a long-term journey, not a sprint. Lesson 9. Freedom is the highest form of wealth. Morgan says the richest people aren't the ones with the most money. They're the ones who control their time. Waking up without an alarm. Working because you want to, not because you have to. Having the flexibility to spend time with family. Taking breaks when your mental health needs it. These things are worth more than luxury items. Real wealth equals autonomy over your schedule. Money buys freedom, and freedom buys happiness. Lesson 10. Wealth is what you don't see. People often impress others by spending money. But real wealth is created by not spending money. A nice car looks rich, but a growing investment account is rich, and no one sees it. The book says, spending money to show people how much money you have is the fastest way to have less money. If you want to be wealthy, learn to enjoy looking broke. Lesson 11. Get comfortable with enough. One of the biggest reasons people lose money is because they don't know when to stop. Someone wants more profit, more returns, more risk, more status, and eventually they push too far and lose everything. The lesson is simple. Your life gets better when you learn what is enough for you. Not more, not less. Knowing you're enough gives you peace and protects you from unnecessary risks. Lesson 12. Long-term planning is hard because the world changes. Most people plan their life as if everything will stay the same. But reality is different. The economy changes. Opportunities change. Your goals change. Your responsibilities change. So instead of making a perfect plan, make a flexible plan. Be open to adjusting. Be open to learning. Be open to pivoting. Long-term success needs long-term adaptability. Lesson 13. Nothing is free. Everything has a price. Every financial decision has a hidden cost. Investing? The price is volatility and stress. Starting a business? The price is uncertainty. Saving money? The price is delayed gratification. Even doing nothing and staying safe has a price. Missed opportunities. The moment you understand the true price of wealth, you make better choices and panic less when things go wrong. Lesson 14. Respect the power of tail events. A tail event is something rare but extremely powerful. For example, a single investment can create 80% of your wealth. One big mistake can wipe out years of progress. One lucky opportunity can change your entire life. Most of the world is built on tail events. Amazon succeeded after many failures. Apple survived because of one product. One good idea can change everything. Don't underestimate small, consistent actions. And don't underestimate rare, big moments either. Lesson 15. You will change, and your goals will too. Morgan says people underestimate how much they'll change in the next 10 years. What you want at 20 won't be what you want at 30. What you want at 30 won't be what you want at 40. So don't lock yourself into extreme goals. Give yourself permission to evolve. Wealth is built when you make decisions that your future self will thank you for. Lesson 16. Be financially unbreakable. The people who stay wealthy are not the ones who take the biggest risks. They're the ones who avoid the biggest disasters. Being unbreakable means having savings, avoiding huge debts, not investing in things you don't understand, keeping an emergency plan. If you can survive the bad times, you will automatically thrive in the good ones. Lesson 17. Reasonable, rational. You don't need perfect financial decisions. You need decisions that your life can actually support. A rational decision might say, invest 100% of your money and never touch it. A reasonable decision says, invest well, but also enjoy your life. People who aim for perfection quit. People who aim for balance succeed. Lesson 18. Surprise is the normal state of the world. The book explains that most major events, recessions, crashes, trends, surprise everyone. So instead of trying to predict the future, prepare for the unexpected. Have savings, a backup plan, diverse investments, realistic expectations. The world is uncertain, but your preparation doesn't have to be. In the final part of The Psychology of Money, the focus shifts toward the deeper mindset shifts that separate people who build lasting wealth from those who only appear wealthy. Morgan Housel explains that money is much more about behavior, patience, and self-awareness than financial formulas. A major lesson is the idea that wealth is what you don't see. In modern society, people often chase visible signs of success, luxury cars, designer brands, expensive lifestyles, believing these things represent wealth. But in reality, these things represent spending, not wealth. True wealth is invisible because it sits quietly in savings accounts, investments, and assets that don't need applause. Housel reminds us that the ability to save money has less to do with income and more to do with your habits and emotional discipline. Two people earning the same income can have completely different financial lives, simply because one values stability over instant gratification. Another powerful idea is that enough is a superpower. People often fall into financial trouble because they don't know what enough looks like for them. The desire to keep pushing, more money, more status, more comparison, leads to unnecessary risk-taking. Many financial failures throughout history happened because someone crossed a line they didn't need to cross. Successful investing is far less about intelligence and much more about behavior. Housel argues that long-term wealth requires humility, patience, the ability to stay calm during market volatility, understanding your risk tolerance, and the discipline to stay invested even when it's uncomfortable. One of the strongest chapters highlights the concept of tails. This means that a small number of events, rare moments, shape the majority of outcomes. In life and investing, a few big decisions or lucky breaks can outweigh hundreds of normal days. The key is to stay in the game long enough for those tail events to work in your favor. You don't need to win big every day. You just need to avoid losing everything. Housel emphasizes that predicting the future is impossible. So instead of trying to outsmart the market, focus on building a financial system that can survive surprises. This includes having a margin of safety, keeping cash reserves, and preparing for unexpected events. The world is uncertain, and the most financially resilient people accept this uncertainty rather than fight it. In the end, the psychology of money teaches that managing money is really about managing yourself, your emotions, your expectations, and your understanding of what truly matters. Wealth is not a finish line. It's a lifestyle built on respect for time, patience, and the ability to stay consistent. Money can give you freedom, but only if you learn how to control it instead of letting it control you. This final message ties everything together. Good investing isn't about making the best decisions. It's about consistently avoiding the worst ones. And that is what separates long-term success from short-term luck.